Hello guys, King Gusset here from the Walkman's Armory, and today we're going to be talking about something that is often forgotten, and that is the undergarment underneath your armor. So what happens is that aside from the armor being restrictive, kind of, if your armor is good, you wouldn't get it. But if you do, well, you have to worry about how your armor behaves when you are fighting and doing a whole bunch of cool stuff. But what's important is that armor is actually attached to your jacket or your doublet and your pants. So what it means is that your garment has to be just as good as your armor. So one very important thing is that people often forget about the pits, the armpit. And so in the armpit, what happens is that when you're raising up your arm, because when you're fighting, you do a lot of, raising your arms and stuff like that, right? Cheering, spearing, hitting people, whatever. So even if your armor doesn't impede your movement, if your garment is not made the right way, what happens is that your leg armor is attached to your bottom of your jacket, so there's no movement. So your arm has to move in relation of the fabric, the extra fabric called the gusset. And this gusset it could be a loose piece of fabric, extra triangular piece, or whatever, just enough material that you can raise your arm and your jacket doesn't move. And I'm going to show you a couple of different examples on what other people has done. 1 second. So in my historical outfit here, we're going to see a very good representation of a 16th century civilian outfit. Now these could be outfitted with armor as well, and because they could have a lot of pointing holes and stuff like that, it's actually meant so that you can wear for civilian and you can also wear for armor. Now, what happens is that look at it. So my pants is completely tied towards the jacket, and there is no movement because there's extra fabric underneath. On this one example, it's just a straight hoop. There's no extra gusset, but because there are extra fabric underneath, so the garment actually the fabric actually runs along the arm, so it gets a little bit bigger, more baggier on the top. We see this in the period of the 16th century with the more belly, with the bigger belly on top or the bottom, or the pigeon. This is because now we have more fabric. Another example is taking from the 16th century to the 17th century. 1 second. So another thing is that you will see that even in fabric armor, which is chainmail that you have right now, you will see that even as a chainmail. I'm going to put my hand here. You will see that there's a lot of fabric even on the bottom side of the chainmail that could allow you to raise and lower your arm with efficiency. So even with chainmails or fabric, you want to make sure that you have enough coverage on your pit, because that's where people are going to stab you and kill you. And next, and so here on this example, I have a 17th century buff coat. Now in this example, these fabric are much more stiffer, so then to raise it up and down, it does take more effort. So what happened is that now in a cheaper method, where it's like LARP or it's kind of like, I don't know, retail stuff, like something you can buy off the shelf. What happened is that to make gussets is actually really annoying because it takes tailoring. And that takes time and that takes money and nobody wants to pay more money, and so you get something cheap. But it works. So now what happens on here, we're going to see, you see the orange part right here, that's my t-shirt. They actually do a cutout. In this cutout, now they have all the range of movement without having to worry about sewing a gusset. And we see that a lot in cheaper stuff, meaning chainmail, and we see garments, and we see all the other vests, jackets, doublet, or I don't know what people recognize as gambeson, and they would have holes in the armpit. So now we're going to see another one. That is what happened in a modern version when they had to take historical stuff and turn it modernized. 1 second. And now we are at my HEMA fencing jacket that you often see me wearing if I were to do HEMA video, fighting video, and any sparring video. And this is the jacket that I wear. So you will see that there are extra little buttons on the bottom and little ties and stuff like that. However, I just kind of cheated and went with zippers because it's fast. Now what happened is this is my fighting jacket, and I fight with this very regularly, twice a week, if not more, and it has gussets. So we see here, there's a whole bunch of fabric being bunched up on the bottom. Now this can be extra layers, or just be extra little pockets that kind of fold in and it goes inside, so that now when I reach up, fabric. When I reach back down, it folds into my armpit where it nests nicely into my armpit. Do they get a little bit more gross? Not really, it's not that bad really. So, in any case, next time when you're thinking about a historical outfit that are for fantasy, for LARP, or for your reenactment purposes, or in general for fighting, you want to make sure you pick a garment that is your under outfits for your armor that has armpit fabric, gussets. Very important. Stay tuned next time for we are going to probably be talking about another, historical references that you never know. See ya!